The Boss Island Championship is in action this weekend at the Kirkistown circuit, and it's sure to be one of the highlights of the weekend. Some of the fastest and loudest cars racing here this weekend, about to take the track for their first of two races. On pole position, we've got Paul O'Connell in the stunning 3.5 litre Nissan powered World Series by Renault car. That is one of just several spectacular cars set to entertain us on the track. Well, an eclectic mix of cars then lining up on the grid here ahead of our first race of the day. Paul O'Connell has Sam Mansfield's Radical alongside, ahead of Eamon Matheson and Fergus Faherty. Then Barry Rabbit and Michael Roach, John Stewart and Donald Griffin, whilst the 2 litre Reynard of Graham Jennings runs out the order. Well, the general ethos behind the Boss Island Championship is that if you have a sports car or a single-seater, then you can come and race it here, and that really is about as picky as they get. This is more or less a run what you brung championship, and it is about to burst into life, but not for everybody. A bad start made by Sam Mansfield. We've had no start made at all by Sam Mansfield. The Radical is stuck on the outside of row 1, going absolutely nowhere. It will be the World Series by Nissan car of Connell that leads the way. Barry Rabbit coming around the outside there, trying to take second place away from Eamon Matheson, and he will succeed in doing so. That 2 litre Formula Renault car may not be the strongest in a straight line, but through the corners it is probably the fastest car here, and Barry is a very committed driver indeed, and he'll be keen to try and get himself ahead here of O'Connell if he can. Through the chicane they go, back down the back straight, and a great exit there for Rabbit, but he hasn't got the horsepower. He might have been about to lose second place there as well. This is Graham Jennings, meanwhile, in the Reynard, started at the back of the grid. Sadly, he's still pretty much at the back, only Sam Mansfield behind him. Sam hoping he's been able to get going though, because otherwise he's going to be stranded on the start-finish line. Into the lead though, we've had a lead change. It's Eamon Matheson that's gone through. Paul O'Connell is down to second place then, and Barry Rabbit in third position. Further back there is Mansfield, so Mansfield has got going. He's on the tail now of Graham Jennings and should be able to get through pretty quickly. The car looks and sounds absolutely stunning though, and unfortunately Graham Jennings' 2 litre Reynard is no match for it. It's often the case with this very much a wide and varied entry for Boss Island. There will be certain speed differentials between the cars, but that, particularly front of the field, tends to produce some pretty fascinating racing. So you've got the number 51 car, Eamon Matheson then, in one of the sports prototype style machines, being chased by 3 of the single-seaters. The World Series by Nissan car of Paul O'Connell in second position, who's on the verge of wrapping up the Boss Island Championship this weekend as well, and a couple of solid podium finishes should be enough for him to achieve that. They flash across the start-finish line. Rabbit dropping back a little way in third position now, as they race towards the first corner once again. Through Debtor's Dip, and then down into the second turn, which is through Colonial. It's very easy to make a mistake through that section, but pretty much single file through there. Many overtake opportunities through the middle part of the lap. By far and away the best place to try and make an overtake is into the hairpin at the end of the back straight, and that's where we'll see most of the overtaking attempts being made, I think. Down onto that part of the circuit then goes the race leader, Eamon Matheson, who in qualifying was only third and was just over 3/4 of a second behind Paul O'Connell, but Paul, having had made a good initial start to the race, is now sort of starting to slip down a little way. He's still in second place, but doesn't seem to be able to live with the race leader. There goes the third place man, Barry Rabbit, and then the Formula 3 machine behind. That looks as though Barry Rabbit is going to be under some pressure here before too much longer for his third position. That is Fergus Faherty, I think, that's chasing him down in the 111 car, and then another Formula 3 chassis behind, and that's Michael Roach in the 1.3 litre turbocharged Dallara, the 1999 spec Formula 3 car, which is starting to make this a three-way fight now for third place. Out of the right-hander they go, through Fisherman's into the John Crossley chicane. Good exit through there for Faherty. He's going to try and get in the slipstream now of Barry Rabbit as they go down the back straight. Barry said he's made some adjustments to the front wing on that car to try and get some more straight line speed, and it was really buying him quite a lot of extra lap time. But is it going to be enough to keep that Formula 3 behind? The Renault is the slightly newer of the cars, I'd imagine, but maybe a little bit quicker in a straight line. It should be a fascinating battle, and there aren't that many places in the world, like we're in the UK, that you get to see cars of such variety going wheel to wheel. Particularly look at the battle at the front of the field. All that is drama there, though, is it, for the number 46 machine, Michael Roach. Yes, that's definitely drama. That car is catching fire and it's dropping fluid on the track as well. He needs to get that car off the road, which thankfully he's doing. And already, I think, unbuckling the seatbelts in quite a hurry, understandably, to get out of that car. Finish line they go again into the first corner, and Fergus closer than ever now as they go into the right-hander, and he has a little peek up the inside, but Barry Rabbit carries the speed into the corner, just about does enough to fend him off. They head now back towards the John Crossley chicane again. Barry Rabbit needs a really good exit from here because this has been the part of the circuit where he has been strong, but Flaherty's going to get another toe, and Barry was a bit wide there actually as he went out onto the back straight. Into the braking zone again. Rabbit just about keeping Flaherty at arm's length here, but it's getting mighty close. On the pit straight again, down to the first corner. Running out of time now though is Fergus, because there's just a huge amount of it left in this race. 15 minutes plus 1 lap, as I said. They get several laps in though over the course of that time. They're going to be getting on for 20 laps, such is the very rapid pace being shown by Paul O'Connell out in front. This is the fight for third that's keeping everyone entertained at the moment. Fergus Flaherty and Barry Rabbit opposite way round, and they are definitely being caught here by Sam Mansfield now. The more they trip over each other, the closer Sam Mansfield gets. Chicane over the curbs through the right, fling it through the left, and they're actually spurring each other on here, and they continue to lap a bit quicker than Eamon Matheson in front. So I do think we'll have 4 cars in pretty close proximity here before the end of the race. Mansfield's going to be with them probably by the end of the lap with the straight line speed advantage that he has, and once he gets there he should be able to breeze past them fairly easily, which is probably why Flaherty's got this extra incentive now to get past Barry Rabbit, try and get a buffer between himself and the rapid Radical behind. Like an orange warning flag going out to Barry Rabbit as well for some sort of mechanical issue he may not be aware of. One issue he is aware of though is that Formula 3 car filling his mirrors, which has another peek to the inside into Colonial. Rabbit turns in ahead, and then he knows that it's single file through this sequence. Mansfield then becoming an ever-present threat behind them as well. He's sliding the Radical through Fisherman's into the Crossley chicane. To the closing stages of this race, there's a back marker ahead as well, which could get interesting, so that might just open up an opportunity here for some positions to change, and Mansfield's almost with them now. In fact, I think he might be going up the inside here into the hairpin. Is he close enough? No, Flaherty should hang on to 4th place for now. It's a wide line into the hairpin, tight line out. 3 cars should throw a handkerchief over the lot of them as they flash back across the start-finish line. Keep an eye on the straight line speed of Mansfield's Radical. I don't think the pit straight is going to be quite long enough for him to get alongside, but so out of the first corner they go then, this back marker in front, and look at how close they all are, Rabbit, Flaherty and Mansfield has a look at the inside into Colonial, but doesn't seem quite as confident under braking as the 2 single-seaters, the lighter single-seaters in front of him. A bit more weight to that Radical, so it slides around a bit more through the corners. It's not quite as planted, but definitely has the advantage in a straight line. Get a great exit from Fisherman's though, and so he's going to have to try and... Oh, he really sends it into the chicane, completely out of shape. And now things are about to get quite busy because there is traffic in front. They're going to have to negotiate this slower car on the run into the hairpin. Barry Rabbit will be the first on the scene. He goes for the inside line, and Mansfield goes to the inside of Flaherty for 4th position. How did that one work out? Rabbit comes through, still in 3rd. Who's in 4th? It is Mansfield. He's gone through. So Sam Mansfield has now prized the door open, got into 4th place just in time, because we're going on to the final lap of the race now. Does he have time then to catch Barry Rabbit for 3rd, I wonder? We'll find out in a minute. For now though, Paul O'Connell is already at the chicane for the final time. He's backed the pace right off now in these final couple of laps, not really under any pressure from anyone behind. Eamon Matheson's getting on for 10 seconds behind him, as for the final time Paul O'Connell comes into the final hairpin, and the World Series by Nissan machine is going to come home a race winner, and this will take him 1 step closer to the championship title as well. Out of the hairpin he comes then to the start finish line, and Paul O'Connell wins race number 1 for the Boss Island Championship here at Kirkistown. And then the wait begins for Eamon Matheson, hopefully to come home in second place. Here comes the green machine. The big question, though, is who will be third on the podium with them? Will it be Barry Rabbit or Sam Mansfield? It's Rabbit by almost a second, actually, over Mansfield in fourth. Further Flaherty in fifth. A great drive, though, from Paul O'Connell. Really had to work for it in the early stages, but he takes the victory from Matheson and Rabbit on the podium. Mansfield and Flaherty round out the top five, with John Stewart in sixth position, the last of the finishers in the end, after what was a bruising race. Well, Paul, what a car, what a race. That was a brilliant drive. This place, it must focus the mind in that thing.
It certainly does, Andy. Yeah, it's quick up here. It's quick through Debtors. You know, taking Debtors flat and six. That's good fun. Seeing all the shift lights on and down the back straight or the front straight there was tricky. And unfortunately, we had a good bit of oil on the track from the race previous. It was a car combusted or became an external combustion engine, it appears. So we had to take some interesting lines here and there. And yeah, it was a good race. Brilliant battle with Eamon Matheson in the green surface wear missile, we call it over here. It's an insane car. This is its home, like, it's brilliant. So great win, yeah, delighted. Huge thanks to the guys come down and help me out and keep the car running and stuff. But that thing is just best thing ever, like, it's brilliant. Best car I've ever seen or heard about.
After his win in race one, Paul O'Connell is back on pole position again in race number two. Can he get a slightly better start this time and lead from lights to flag? In a way, we hope not, because race one was a fantastic encounter. Let's hope we get another really close race this time round. Cars are really up then, but there's drama already. Barry Rabbit, podium finisher in our first race, is not on the grid. He's going to be a pit lane starter. The rest of them, though, launch off the line down to the first corner. And the resumption of the battle then between Eamon Matheson and Paul O'Connell begins, with Matheson grabbing the lead into turn number one, as he did in race number one. The front of the car sparking on the bumps there into Colonial for the first time. So Mansfield way better this time as well. He's in third position. He's definitely got a shot at challenging for a victory here, I'd say. Arguably the second fastest car after the World Series by Nissan machine at Paul O'Connell, but we didn't get to see the best of it in race number one because he had that stall at the start of the race. Through the chicane they go then, so it's Matheson from O'Connell, from Mansfield the top three. Flaherty is there in fourth position. There's the view down the back straight as they race towards us, and Paul O'Connell already looking to the inside. Now Paul has put some sticker tyres on that car for race number two. He's chasing that lap record. He got reasonably close in race number one. His fastest lap was a 53.2, but that was actually still a couple of seconds away from the outright lap record. And the fresh tyres maybe power him to an even faster lap. Well, right now his main priority is getting himself ahead of Eamon Matheson, because in clean air, that's by far and away his best opportunity to set some quick lap times, and he's not in clean air at the moment. He's stuck in the turbulent air, being left behind by the 51 machine. As he heads through Fisherman's now, down to the chicane, so Paul O'Connell won't want to waste too much time here. If he can get through, then he will want to do so at the first possible opportunity. Through the chicane again, then down the back straight. Watch out for Mansfield. We don't really know how his car compares to the two in front of him, because they were never that close together in the previous race, but this time around they are sharing the same bit of tarmac more or less. Flaherty's still fourth. John Stewart, I believe, rounding out the top five as they come through at the end of lap number two then. Second for O'Connell, third place for Mansfield. Spreading themselves out a little bit at this stage, but I do anticipate that O'Connell will have the pace over Matheson. We saw in race one that his big advantage was under braking, went around the outside of this corner, Colonial, to get the lead in race number one. Wasn't close enough for any similar heroics this time around, but he is closing over this lap. Paul O'Connell, who also, as we said, is on the verge of taking the championship beyond anyone else's reach this weekend. He could do it if he gets a really good result in this race. So he'll have that in the back of his mind, but he'll also want a good race. He'll want to try and get that lap time as well. Down the back straight he goes then. We know that Matheson's car has the edge in a straight line, but they don't take long to get down that straight, these cars. And so not much scope actually for much slipstreaming to go on. Down to the final corner then. Three completely different cars, distinctive sounding cars as well. High-pitched wail there, the Radical back of the group. Chris Faherty. Then John Stewart. Barry Rabbit, by the way, has joined the race, but from the pit lane as Paul O'Connell has his first serious look at the inside of Matheson into Colonial. Again, just a touch too far back though, but again, look how much later he is on the brakes into the right-hander at Fisherman's. He's clearly the quicker of the two through the corners, but it's so hard to overtake a car that is quicker than you in a straight line, because most of the best overtaking opportunities tend to come at the end of long straights. So look, it's only a car length or so between them as they go onto the back straight. By the time we get into the braking zone of the hairpin, that will have doubled, maybe even tripled. And Matheson is then not under pressure into the braking zone of the hairpin, although O'Connell had a little look there. If he was a car length or so closer, he may have committed to that move. Interesting, we heard O'Connell saying after race 1 that he's flat out through Debtor's Dip this first corner as well, which is probably what allows him to have a go into Colonial. He's going more speed through the left hand. You can see visibly he got the corner better. Looks to the inside line of Paul O'Connell going for the race lead and will go through with relative ease in the end into the right hander at Colonial. Paul O'Connell then out in front. He should now start to pull away. We know he's got good speed. He wants to try and push hard as early as he can though on those fresh tyres, trying to get the maximum out of them whilst they're in the early stages of their life. They will yield better grip and therefore, in theory, better lap times. And he'll be now setting off after, if he can, that lap record that we mentioned in the first race earlier on, which is a 50.782. As I said, he needs to find a few seconds, but maybe that fresh rubber will be what he needs. Meanwhile, in his mirrors, we'll be able to see that Sam Mansfield is now closed in onto the tail of Eamon Matheson, so Matheson still has his hands full. This time, though, from the Radical when he starts to fill his mirrors. Here comes O'Connell in his first full flying lap in clean air, on fresh tyres, into Colonial and off at Colonial. He goes straight on onto the grass. And Paul O'Connell, what I said he wanted to push on those fresh tyres while he could, and he's thrown away the lead, and second place. Mansfield's gone through as well. So Paul O'Connell will be now kicking himself, because not only has he lost the lead, he's lost second place. He'll have dirt over his tyres. He's going to have dirty air again now as well, so he maybe won't be able to really get the full potential from these fresh tyres. That was just a driver pushing a little bit too hard, knowing that he had a limited amount of time before those tyres were past their best, and unfortunately he's gone off pretty much at the first opportunity. So on the plus side for us, it means we've got a real race on our hands now, because he's now not only got to catch the leaders, but he's actually going to get past two cars now. Down into Colonial though, and well, look at that, much more speed taken out to the first corner for the Formula 3 chassis of Faherty, and he goes through into third fairly easily. So yeah, I'm pretty certain that all is not right with Eamon Matheson's machine. Dropping well back, nowhere near the pace that we saw from him in the early stages. As far as O'Connell is concerned, by the way, his fastest lap at the moment is a low 53, so he's going fractionally quicker than he was in race number 1. We're not quite getting into the 52-second bracket yet, certainly nowhere near the flat 50s, so that record possibly won't be going his way, but still setting an impressive pace, well over 100 miles an hour average speed that around this very high speed circuit, in fairness. Across the line then goes this fight for third, and Matheson trying his best here to have a go at getting back ahead of Faherty, but as soon as they get to a corner, the Formula 3 car runs rings around it, so maybe it's not the engine that's the issue for Matheson, maybe it's just a lack of grip, and he's struggling already through the corners with that car, and it seems to be a situation that's improving. And then now in third, can he catch Sam Mansfield? Doubtful, he's about 15 seconds behind him. Mansfield in turn is nearly 10 seconds down behind Paul O'Connell, the race leader, so it's all rather spread out here, unfortunately, in the second half of the second race, but it's one of those races where you sort of don't mind, actually, because you just, certainly for those watching trackside, just get to enjoy these spectacular machines being driven around what is a spectacular circuit. You wouldn't think it necessarily to look at a map of this place, but with the bumps and the narrow nature of the track, it is a real spectacle seeing these cars being pedalled to within an inch of their life around this place. Rabbit there in the Formula Renault car looking to close in and unlap himself from Eamon Matheson. He's not going to unlap himself from this time though. Paul O'Connell setting a stonking pace out in front. Crosses the line onto another lap now, getting into the closing stages of this 15-minute plus 1 lap encounter though. And it's been not a faultless drive from O'Connell, it's fair to say. Threw it all the way nearly in this corner earlier on, just as he got the race lead. Fought his way back through though in fairly rapid order. Managed to get past first Sam Mansfield and then Eamon Matheson with relative ease, it seemed. Since then has pulled away into a lead and he's not looked likely to throw away again. Actually afford a grassy moment now probably and not end up losing any more positions. There's Mansfield in the background, only just turning into the chicane. It's Paul O'Connell looking good for the victory, looking good for the championship as well therefore. And that is certainly going to be a good achievement for O'Connell come the end of the season. Start finish line, sees the last lap board. One more time around the Kirkistown circuit then for Eamon Matheson. 1.5 mile circuit, just over 1.5 miles. I think this place, as we've said, in the low 53s at the moment is O'Connell. Around about 102 miles an hour that. Fisherman's he's been pushing hard on this lap though. He's got one last chance on a relatively light fuel load here to try and improve upon his previous best lap. Nice way to round out the weekend as well for O'Connell. Gets out to the chicane. Back along the back straight then behind the paddock. Down into the braking zone at the hairpin. One more corner to go for Paul O'Connell. Hits the brakes as late as he dares. Nicely controlled, turns in, heads out to the final corner, and Paul O'Connell is going to be a double winner this weekend in the Moss Island Championship. Comes across the start-finish line, takes the checkered flag now, and sets a new fastest lap on the last lap as well, a 52.954. It's not a lap record, but it is the fastest lap that we've seen here all weekend long. So Paul O'Connell with a dominant victory in the end, but it was a very entertaining first half of the race, that's for sure. Sam Mansfield will come home in second place, nearly 13 seconds back at the flag, with Fergus Faherty third, and Eamon Matheson dropping way back in fourth position. John Stewart was fifth and one lap down, whilst Barry Rabbit is classified a finisher, albeit 4 laps down in sixth. Well, Sam, second place finisher on the podium this time in race number 2. It's been an eventful day, but this car has caught quite a few people's attention.
Absolutely, yes. There's quite a noise of it. It kind of always creates a bit of a stir. Great race, I have to say, a lot better than earlier. The first race we stalled off the line, a bit of an embarrassment. We eventually got going, but this race it was brilliant. The pace was there. It wasn't quite up to Paul's pace, but we managed to pull in second, so I was happy enough.